All right. We are live. Thank God. We are live on YouTube. Yes, this is Charles Zito, and we are live. Welcome to the What It Is podcast. Today, this is the second podcast I've done, and I have written up some material about what we're going to be doing here on this channel. The first thing I'd like to talk about is welcome to the podcast. With each one of the new broadcasts, I plan on being very frank and honest about issues in our world today that are either unethical or moral or just flat out wrong. Every day people experience changes in their lives. You can have everything going great and then all of a sudden it stops right in its tracks, forcing you to find something immediately to change the situation. With our digital world now, podcasts have become a regular way to communicate with the world. So I figured I'd come up with a podcast of my own and broadcast this to the world. Now, the key to a good content during any type of video broadcast is to make it informative so your clients will actually learn something from the information contained within the presentation. Now, a number of years ago, I was heavily involved with a multi level marketing company. This experience, after decades of trying different types of multi level marketing companies that were set up in a format that would end up being the nail on the coffin to any multi level marketing endeavors that I had planned. So now my broadcasts are not going to be about that type of industry, more so about legalized ripoffs. Now, these are things that are 100% legal right now, but they need to be made illegal because they're just flat out wrong. In my previous broadcast, we talked about one of them, non refundable application fees. Yeah, that's a real crock. The way that works is you pay a fee when you're trying to find a place to live. You pay a quote unquote non refundable application fee, only to be heard, sorry, you've been rejected, but thanks for the cash. Get out of my office. That's 100% legal right now, guys. We need to talk to our Congress people and complain about that. The more people who complain about it to Congress, the more we can take action. Now, what do I mean by action? What I mean is very, very simple. Uh, we don't want to do anything crazy. Obviously, what you want to do is get enough signatures on a petition to where Congress and the government will want to hear what you have to say. And then you actually set up an appointment. You're scheduled to speak in front of Congress. I mean, this is a suit and a tie thing. I wouldn't be wearing my tuxedo t shirt for that. Obviously, I'd be in a suit and a tie, and I would actually look forward to it. But that's how you do it. That's how you do it. You do it diplomatically. So that way they're ready for you. They know you're coming and they want to hear you and they want to ask questions too. And that way, hopefully, something will get done about it. Because, those unnecessary fees, the president was talking about it, they just need to go away. Because all they're doing is bilking the American people out of their money. That's it. That's all they're doing. They're just bilking people out of their money. And the problem is they don't care about it. That is what the problem is. I want to change that, folks. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but hopefully you do, because that is absolutely wrong. Now, another thing I want to talk about today is this is really god awful. If you're looking for work, there are a lot of quote unquote job opportunities that are posted on all of these job sites. I have nothing against the job sites themselves. It's just some of these these job offers look like real jobs, but then they wind up being a scam. Now, let me talk about this one. First of all, if you have an employer who is doing a quote unquote job interview, basically a text message job interview on Skype, just ignore them. Just ignore them. Please, just ignore them. They're a waste of time. That's all they are. Let me tell you how they work because I've tried three of these and I didn't get ripped off because I'm a smart guy. But let me show you what to work out as far as the things you need to look out for. Okay. First of all, they're going to ask you all kinds of regular job related questions. So it seems like you're on a real job interview. That's great, right? And then they make a decision to hire you. So they put you on hold for about 10 minutes. We're elaborating whether we're going to hire you or not. Please just stand by, and we'll take care of this. Now, here's where it gets a little crazy. About 10 minutes later, they come back and say, "You've been hired. Congratulations." You're thinking, "Oh, great. I got a job. This is fantastic." And then at some point, the interviewer will say, quote unquote, and this is what you got to pay attention to, "We're going to send you a check to buy equipment." Now, at this point, they'll either try to get all of your information before they issue a check, which is just an attempt at identity theft and nothing more, or they will send you a fake check as a PDF file And when you look at the routing number, this is very important on the so called check, there isn't one. Think about that for a second. That is a big red flag. You're instructed to mobile deposit this fake check into your account. All right. And the scary thing is, it will go into your account. And yes, you'll have a positive balance for about 2 days. And then what they tell you is that they're going to do now. I never got to this point, but I found out about it. Then they say, oh, we sent you too much money. You got to send some of that money back. Right. So if you're stupid enough to do that, basically they just took your money because what's going to happen is the check's going to bounce because it's fake. All right. So don't fall for it. The way to figure that out is, first of all, again, if it's a Skype based interview, run for your life. Don't even waste your time. It's crap. Now, one of the funny things I'd like to do to these guys is when I get approached by them, because they also sound really weird with their texts. There's typos in the text. That's a red flag. They sound all like this happens to be your, and then they say your name and they go, it just sounds weird. It's not professional. That should be a red flag. But when they say we're going to send you a check to buy equipment, run for your life. It's all crap. The check is fake. It's a big waste of time because all they're trying to do is take advantage of you because, that's all they really want to do, man. If you fall for this, your check account will be overdrawn and they'll make it like it was your money and you're locked into trying to do what they had no interest in hiring you for anything. So what they did is they wasted your time and they took your money. Now, this is why I'm doing this podcast, folks. Okay? This is why I'm doing this. I don't want to see people getting ripped off by this crap. We're trying to find work, for God's sakes. We don't have time for the fake check to buy equipment scam. We don't have time for it. Who in the world does have time for that? Now, the funny thing is, when you say that to these people, they usually see, like, usually what I do ask, this is funny. I always ask them, at least the past couple of times, just to mess with them. I say, this isn't one of those fake check to buy equipment scams, is it? Watch how fast these guys run away from you because you called them out on their shenanigans. You see, we're not stupid. These people think we're stupid, but you still got to be aware of some things. If it's on Facebook or not Facebook, if it's on Skype, I have nothing wrong with Skype. Skype's a great channel, but people are using it illegally. If there's a job interview and it's all text based and it's on Skype, they might even say they're with a professional company. In fact, the three ones that I went through, the three interviews that I went through, were all from quote professional real companies, big companies. They said they were with, they even had their logos to make it look like they were really with them. So it all looked above board, but it was all crap. All right. I'm trying to help you guys. Okay. This is the purpose of my podcast is to help people. That's what we do here at What It Is. That's what it's all about. Because I don't want to see anybody getting scammed. Doggone it. There's too much of that crap going around. Now, if you know of any scams or you have been scammed, I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you, especially if it's a job scam or a business opportunity scam. I mean, multi level marketing does work if you can get a bunch of people to all agree to do the same thing. I don't care what the product is, how it works. You have to get a group of people to do exactly the same thing you do. And then people just, oh, that's just a pyramid. Hey, that's all it is. It's just a pyramid. Well, in some cases, yeah, they're right. It is a pyramid. I fell for it. I fell for it a hook, line, and sinker a whole bunch of times. Am I proud of it? No. Am I happy about it? No. Have I moved on? Yes, I have moved on. Okay. Now, there's other ways to make money online that are legit, like a customer service job from home, where you basically have a headset on, like I do. Then you take inbound calls from your office as if you were in a call center. You're just working from home. Now, those are legitimate, but again, you have to be careful because there are a lot of companies that are out there advertising, and all they want to do is send you that fake check, like we've talked about. Okay. And that's what this podcast is all about. That's what it is. And I thank you for your time. And if anybody's on this line right now, let's open up the floor for questions. I don't know if I have anybody down here right now or not. It doesn't look like I do, but this is my very, very first podcast, or actually the second one. I'm doing a lot of this on the fly right now because I've already said what I had in mind that I had printed out. But yeah, guys, yeah, you need to be aware of this because it's wrong It's crazy. And they're out there just trying to take your cash. They don't care about you. They don't care about anything else but the money. And that's freaking wrong. It is just wrong in so many ways. And if you like this video, please share it with your friends and encourage everybody to look at it, because if you're looking for work and you're diligently trying to look for work, I don't want to see you get caught up in one of these mishmash, we're going to send you a check to buy equipment scams, because that's all they are. There's a difference between people who are actually posting a real job offer and a BS job offer that looks like a real job offer. And they're crafty too, man. And you have got to be aware of it. Now, one of the key things is, if you go through the thing, if you just don't ignore them and you listen to the stuff on Skype that they're talking to, the text interviews, when they send you the check, look for the routing number. It's not going to be there. Ding! Red flag. Okay. What do they do instead? They put the check number. The check number up in the top corner is the same number as where the routing number should be. Hello. That's not how it works. It's routing number, account number, check number is how a real check is. And I'd also verify the funds if you want to take it there. Well, again, the best way to do it is just to ignore it. Just to ignore it when they say, "Hi, I'm such and such and so and so, and I'm with whatever company they say they're with," because most of the time they'll say they're with a big company and they're not. They're just trying to scam you. Another way is the checks. Usually, if they're like, I'm not going to say any names of the companies, just for legality reasons, but let's just say it's a big gigantic insurance company, and then the quote unquote check that they're sending to buy equipment is like Bubba's Wire Company or some company that has nothing to do with the main company. Another red flag. And of course, the check is fake. And they always say it's mobile deposit only. It's mobile deposit only. They're trying to see how stupid you are. I'm not afraid to say it. They just want to see how freaking stupid you are and see if you'll fall for their crap. Because a lot of people are naive. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people are unaware of this. That's what they're basing it on. It's the law of averages. They're not basing it on somebody like me who says, this isn't one of those fake check scams to buy equipment, is it? And all of a sudden they run for the hills because I've called them out on their shenanigans. And I encourage you guys to do the same thing if you ever get caught up in this mishmash. All right? But again, the best way to do it is if it's a Skype interview, they'll say, we're going to be interviewing because we're so busy. We got so many applicants. We're going to go ahead and do the interview on Skype. Is that okay? Please respond with okay if that's okay. That's how they talk. Now, that should be a red flag too, because that's not professional. It isn't. It's not. It's weird. It's very weird as far as the language that they use. And there's typos a lot of times. So if there's typos, run for the hills. Just run for the hills. Don't waste your time with this crap, because that's all it is. It's just a bunch of crap. And, I'm trying to be as diplomatic as I can about this, but doggone it, it's an issue, folks. There's a lot of scammers out there who want to take your money. They just don't care about people. All they care about is money, 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 and profits, 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 profits. Screw the people. Who cares about them? They don't mean anything. All they do is make us the money. Okay? All right? And then people wonder why some people are entrepreneurs. They have to wonder about that. Come on. It ain't rocket science, folks. It's pretty doggone logical. But the other side of being an entrepreneur is you're going to get backlash from people. Okay? People who are close to you, people who care about you and stuff. You're going to get backlash from them, your friends, family, a lot of people. Because a lot of times you're supposed to tell everybody everything. And they don't want to hear it. They look at you like you got 5 heads. Why? Because you're trying to do something different. Why? Because you're trying to launch something that you like, that you're passionate about, that you know is good, that people will love. And you just want to get your product to market, God forbid. And they look at you like you got 52 heads and like you're some kind of crazy fool. Why? You want to better yourself. Oh my God. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense, does it? But that's what happens. I don't care what your entrepreneurial based business is. There's this thing called the wall of resistance. Your pot of gold is right here, and this is you. Clong, clong. That's it. You're trying to break down that wall to get to the pot of gold. And what is that wall? What are those bricks in that wall? The negative naysaying public that doesn't really care about anything that you're trying to do. And they're just going, that's what they're going to do. And what do they want you to do because of that? They want you to run like a scared little puppy. That's what they want. So they can go, ha ha, I have an ego boost. Ha ha. It's crazy. It's insane. Out of every 100 people, you get 98 of them to do that. And 2 of them say, hey, that's a great idea. I think I'll look into that. So you got to talk to 55 gajillion people just to get 2 of them to say yes. Because most people are so closed-minded. Now, why is that? They're skeptical. Now, let's talk about skepticism for a minute. I understand being skeptical. But there's this other thing. It's called due diligent research. What does that mean? It means you look at stuff, you do research, you investigate, you find out, you get the facts, and you base it on the facts and make a decision. Now, that is logical. Okay? All right, let me give you an example. Let's say there's this nice restaurant that you've never been to. All your friends say it's fantastic. You go on Google and you look it up the reviews, and there's, oh, the food is fantastic, the staff is great, the prices are good, and we go there all the time. It's just the yummiest food. I always have a big stuffed belly when I come out of there, and all this positive stuff. Well, it'd be like, hey, that looks pretty good. You go check it out, right? Now, let's say it said exactly the opposite. Oh, the food is horrible. I got food poisoning. Don't ever go to this place. They shouldn't have a food permit. Yuck. Bleh. You wouldn't go, right? Why is that? You took the time to do the research. Okay? All right. But there's so many people who don't do that. They just say, I'm skeptical. And that's it. I'm skeptical. Brick on the wall. Boom. That's it. I'm skeptical. Forget it. Boom. That's it. They don't care. I'm skeptical. Boom. That's it. Okay? There's a lot of people that are like that. Why is that? They're afraid. They're afraid to do due diligent research. That doesn't make any freaking sense at all. But there it is. That's what they're doing. You know? And what do they try to do? They try to make the people who are open-minded, the people who want to do things, the people who have great ideas, they want them to run and hide and not do what they're passionate about. Why? So they can get that little ego boost to make them feel better because they just pissed somebody off about their idea and they want them to go, yeah, like a scared little puppy. Oh, you see, I'm not afraid to say it the way it is. That's why this podcast is called What It Is, because that is what it is. All right. I'm going to be in your face. I'm going to get on you all the time. This is the United States of America. I have the right to do this. Okay. And hopefully people will see that for what it is. You know, because I don't have a problem working for a company. I don't have a problem doing that. As long as that company gives me a fair wage and there's no shenanigans. Now, how many companies can you say give you a fair wage with no shenanigans? You know what I'm saying? There's not very many that do that. You know, our world, unfortunately, is like that. There's a lot of stuff in our world that doesn't add up or it's unfair. You know, I mean, I remember one time, I'm not going to say the name of the company, but there was a client or a coworker who was being very, very loud and being very obnoxious. So I went and I talked to my supervisor about it. And what did they do? They wrote me up. They wrote me up. Why? Because I complained about somebody else being loud. It was hard for me to do my job sitting right next to this guy because I couldn't hear myself think because he was so loud. And what do? They write me up. What kind of cockamamie horse manure is that? That is ridiculous. But it happens. I even wrote a book about that. I wrote a book a number of years ago that I'm still working on. It'll be out pretty soon. I'm doing the editing on it. But yeah, I'll be talking about that in another broadcast because I do want to take my book all across the world. Everybody needs to read my book because it basically talks about the mishmash. It talks about the stuff that's out there, all the stuff that doesn't add up, all the stuff that happens in our world that is just flat out wrong. And these people doing it really just don't care. Now, why is that? Why don't they care? Because if they did care, would they be doing it? No, they wouldn't be doing it. But God forbid, do something that helps people. God forbid, make somebody's day better. God forbid, do something nice for another human being. God forbid, be a good citizen. Ooh, ah, ee. You know what I mean? Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? But yet there's all these people. Hey, let's rip them off. Let's see how much money we can get from them. Let's see how many times we can screw them up. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. And that's why I'm doing this podcast, folks, because there's so much stuff in our world that isn't illegal yet, but it needs to be. And if I'm in your face, yeah, I'm going to get in your face. That's what this is about. I hope you like this. I hope a lot of people like this because somebody needs to say it. Somebody needs to say it out there, because there's a lot of stuff in our world that is just wrong. I've seen it all over the place. There's things that you can't say on YouTube, which I won't mention. I'm not going to say them. Mm. There are things I won't say on this channel. There's things that a lot of bogus opportunities that they pose as real opportunities and they're not. And like envelope stuffing, that's a classic BS opportunity. The way it works is this: you secure and stuff the envelopes for us. What do they mean by that? Securing, you have to get your own leads. How in the world are you going to do that? Right? Yeah, it's crap. All right, that's just one example. There's a lot of them like that. But there's also other things you can do that are legitimate that you can do. Like if you're an expert on some type of a subject, write a small report about it and market your report via mail order. That can be done. People might think you're insane because you're doing it. Who cares? Who cares? It can be done. It's a self-published work. You make all the money. Okay? You're not going through a publisher. You're making all that money. All right. Yeah, granted, advertising and costs and capital and all that, that can be a problem. Have you ever tried to run a business without capital? It's like going swimming in a pool that has no freaking water in it. It's crazy. How do I know this? I've done it for many, many years. But then I learned about grants. Okay, I've secured a couple of them, and I'm getting ready to secure a few more of them. You see, the thing about grants is people don't apply. Why don't they apply? They don't know where to do it. And for the companies that are giving away the money, they have to give away 5% of their income to keep their tax status the way it is. So they definitely have to give away that money. And there's people who aren't even applying for it. One of my good friends, his name is Matthew Lesko. You probably know him. He's a celebrity. He lives in Washington, D.C. I'm giving him a little plug right now. He wears question mark suits. He's a really weird, eccentric guy. He's in his 70s, like 75 years old, something like that. And he's been doing grant research for government and private grants for over 50 years. This guy is so good at what he does. Even the United States government has actually hired him as a consultant because he knows their programs better than they do. Imagine that. You're coming in as a private contractor, as a consultant, to consult the United States government about their own programs because he knows them better than the government does. And he's making money doing it. God bless him. You just see an opportunity, you take advantage of that opportunity, you make some money, you make somebody's day better. It's not in that order. You find a need, you fulfill that need, you make somebody's day better, and you get paid. That's how you do it. I don't care what you do. Just use that philosophy. Find a need, fulfill that need, make somebody's day better by doing it, and get paid. That's what it's all about, folks. That's what it is. And this is the What It Is podcast. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. God bless you all. Thanks for listening. Peace.